Nerdgenic Nation, and welcome if you're new. I'm the anime expert here at Nerdgenic.com, and in this video I will be reviewing one of my all-time favorite anime called Fruits Basket. But before we get started, let me tell you about our Patreon page. If you're a fan of our work here at Nerdgenic.com, then consider becoming a patron. Doing so will give you behind-the-scenes access to early links, tutorials, and much more to come. With your support, we can keep you updated on all the superheroes, Russ can share his words of wisdom, and I can bring you bigger and better anime content. And now back to the video. Fruits Basket, written by manga artist Natsuki Takaya, first released in 2001, bringing us 26 episodes that ultimately left us on a really big cliffhanger without ever giving us a season 2. However, in 2019, Funimation brought this anime into a new look and a new life by not only remaking the season 1 in a beautiful and updated animation style, but by also giving us the season 2 longtime fans like myself desperately needed. When can I get a season 2 of Ouran High School Host Club, am I right? Firstly, let's go over the plot. Fruits Basket is a romantic comedy slice-of-life anime about an orphaned high school girl named Tohru Honda who, after meeting Yuki, Kyo, and Shigure, learns that 13 members of the Soma family are possessed by the animals of the Chinese zodiac and are cursed to turn into their animal forms when they are weak, stressed, or when they are embraced by anyone of the opposite sex. After living among the Soma family, Tohru learns of the abuse and trauma endured within the inner circle of the zodiac members, and through her own kind and loving nature, she helps heal their emotional wounds. She also learns a lot about herself and realizes how much those around her deeply care for her. Now, based on this description, you might think that this anime is just another cutesy-feely anime, and while you might be right about that, once you get past the awkward moments, this anime explores into some really deep and dark themes, including things like generational trauma, emotional and physical abuse, and even death. So let's give a quick overview of the characters in this show. We have our main antagonist, Tohru Honda. Tohru is a very optimistic, hardworking girl who always puts others first and sees the good in every situation despite having a very hard life herself. She lives with Kyo, Yuki, and Shigure and does the housework for them and is the only outsider who knows about the Soma family curse. Kyoko Honda is Tohru's mother who passed away in a car accident. In her life, she was a ruthless bike gang leader known as the Crimson Butterfly, but she gave up on that life after having Tohru and became a doting, loving mom to her. Then we have Tohru's closest friend, Arisa and Saki. Arisa is an ex-gangster who becomes friends with Tohru after learning her idol, the Crimson Butterfly, is Tohru's mom. She becomes very close with Tohru after her mother passes and assumes a very protective role over her. And Saki, who is equally as protective, is a psychic girl with a gothic style who can sense others by their waves. With Arisa, she promised on Tohru's mother's grave to look after Tohru. Then we have the Soma family. In order for any of this to make sense, I must first tell you the story of the Chinese zodiac. Long ago, God told all the animals he was throwing a banquet the next day and to not be late. The mischievous rat told his neighbor, the cat, that the banquet was the day after tomorrow. So the next day, all the animals lined up for the banquet, and the rat rode there all the way on the cow's back. All the animals had fun except for the cat, who was at home sleeping and dreaming for a banquet that would never come. So then the cat fought the rat every time he saw him, so he would be accepted by the others. The Soma family consists of 13 people who are involved with this curse, and for the sake of time, I will speedrun this part. First up, we have God, who is the head of the family, Akito. Akito is very sickly and constantly needs medical attention. They are also very short-tempered and very abusive and often lashes out with violence for the fear of abandonment. Then we have the first animal, the rat, Yuki Soma, known as Prince Yuki at school. Yuki is a very handsome feminine boy who is very involved with school and has a fan club of admirers. He often fights with Kyo and is secretly jealous of him. Then we have the cow, Hatsuharu. Haru is very spacey most of the time and can come off as dumb or dazed, but when he is angry he becomes Dark Haru, who is sharp-tongued and standoffish. Next up, we have the tiger, Kisa. She completely stops talking after being bullied for her golden eyes and hair, but becomes very attached to Tohru. She sees her as an older sister and really comes out of her shell. Then we have the rabbit, Momiji. Momiji is a half-German, half-Japanese boy, and when he turned into a bunny after being hugged by his mom on the day of his birth, she rejected him and had him erased of her memory. He is a Lolita boy who enjoys feminine clothing and is really close with Tohru. Next up is the dragon, Hatsuri, the family doctor who is responsible for conducting the memory erasing. He is blind in one eye due to Akito scratching out one of his eyes in a fit of rage. What did he do? He asked for permission to marry the love of his life, and afterwards she was very traumatized, resulting in her memory being erased. Next up, we have the snake, Ayame, who is Yuki's older brother. Ayame is a very dramatic man who is very caring for his younger brother and can easily overstep boundaries. He owns a dress shop and is very close with Shigure and Hatsuri. Next up, we have the horse, Isuzu. She once was a very happy girl with a seemingly loving family, but that turned out to be a ruse as her parents secretly hated her. Once her mom snapped, she was abusive and then abandoned her, and now she is very untrusting and keeps to herself. Next is the sheep, Hiro, the youngest zodiac member. He is very defensive and constantly criticizes those around him, especially Tohru, but he often understands when he's in the wrong and always apologizes. And he is very close with Kisa, the tiger. After that, we have the monkey, Ritsu. Ritsu is extremely apologetic and has very low self-esteem and has a tendency to overact. He dresses in women's clothing and is often mistaken as one due to his long hair and beauty. Then we have Kurano, the rooster, whose curse has been broken for at least 10 years. Despite being freed, Kurano agrees to pretend that he is still a part of the zodiac and is determined to continue to stay by Akito's side at all times since he wants to keep Akito from being lonely. Next up is the dog, Shigure. Tohru, Kyo, and Yuki live with Shigure, who is a lazy manga author who is constantly teasing his poor editor. He's very playful but is secretly very manipulative and selfish. Then we have the boar, Kagura, who is a big fan of Kyo. She is very eager to help but is very clumsy, so she ends up breaking things. She is also very strong and hot-tempered and will tackle you when she is mad. Last but certainly not least, we have the cat, Kyo, the unofficial zodiac member who is secretly hated by the whole family. He also has to wear special beads in order to keep him in his human form. Next, let's break down the art style. This show was originally in a very old 2000s art style, but when reimagined in 2019, all of the characters undergone a redesign while still preserving the original designs. The animation budget for this reboot must have been massive because even compared to the other modern anime, this show's art style is absolutely beautiful. This anime is a whirlwind of emotions, moments that will make you cry, and parts that might leave you in shock, and then moments that will make your heart smile. This show is definitely not for beginners, but if you're looking for a well-rounded show with deep meanings, character depth, and development, and world building, then Fruits Basket might be the show to add to your watch list. Without my bias, I would analytically give this show an 8.5 out of 10. So, have you seen Fruits Basket before? Please let us know what you think in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to keep up with lots of anime content. But if you need a little variety, feel free to click this video here. That's all for today. Anime expert Ash out.